Hello everyone and welcome back to another video and to another sketchbook tour. It has been a long time, I think, since the last one, and it's winter 2022-23, and right now it seems like there's nothing happening in my sketchbook at all. I'm right now very busy with filming for an online course, which means painting outside of the sketchbook. And there's also an illustration project that I need to finish at some point. And I'm still overall very, very slow. My health is only getting better in baby steps. But I don't want to complain. I still found a few interesting pages from the last 3 months or so to share with you. And I have to say that my sketchbook remains a place that I feel I can always turn to when I need a bit of creative time to explore ideas or just to unwind. And this is the kind of feeling that I want to associate with my sketchbook. So this illustration project I was talking about is about local species in a special kind of habitat. And whenever I can, I like to do these sketchbook studies for my illustrations. So the first entries today are botanical studies. These owls were also done for the project. Yeah, these remind me of hiking in summer and exploring and finding interesting new plants. So nature around here is still half asleep at this time of the year. As I'm looking out my window, it snows right now, and it also seems like it doesn't want to stop. But yeah, it's early March, so it's probably okay that we have a bit of snow. And so these flowers always remind me of warmer times of summer. And one of these, this dittany, it's called, this has a wonderful fresh smell of orange or citrus if you touch it or come near it. What I like to focus on in these botanical studies is everything that I would need later for the finished illustrations. So how the plant grows, different leaf shapes, flowers from different sides, from different perspectives, and if it's at all possible, then different growth stages. What I also like to include, and yeah, it's in here, is the habitat around it. And details of the flowers themselves are also important to get right, so I like to do these sort of close-ups. I will share a bit more about this project when I've finished it, and from time to time, I give sneak previews on Patreon. So the people who support me on Patreon have already seen a few of the finished illustrations for this project. One thing that I absolutely love sketching in winter or at any time really are birds. So I'm a really big bird nerd. And when it was really cold, like -10 or -15 degrees Celsius, of course, then we had field fairs hanging out here in the garden, and they were feeding on the apples that were still in the trees and just sitting around like these giant fluff balls. In the field fairs, what I find particularly attractive is the breast and the belly, these wonderful patterns and these colors that just go really well together. And another aspect that I like about winter is that I can practice drawing gnarly trees with no leaves in the way, and you can really study how the branches grow, how they overlap. And for this sketch, I worked with acrylic inks. These kind of inks from Liquitex. From time to time, I also use these inks, which are, I think, also acrylic based. And what I find nice about them is that you can use them directly from the bottle, or you can dilute them with water and then apply them in layers. And this is what I did here. It's very similar to watercolors, but the different layers are waterproof when they're dried. I think I also showed this drawing process for this page in a recent video, which I think it was the video about overwhelm and creativity. So I'm currently editing the video, and I thought it might be nice to get recommendations for acrylic inks, if you have any. So if you've tried different types of inks, then definitely let me know in the comments what you have tried. Yeah, what I'm looking for in my inks is that they're waterproof and light fast. Those are two very important criteria for me. And what I use these inks with are these kind of dip nibs. So these are easy to clean, they're sort of indestructible. So no fountain pens, right? No, don't put acrylic ink into your fountain pen. Yeah, if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them. Just put them in the comments. Thank you. Winter for me also has some of the most subtle and interesting color combinations, and I explored this in several landscape sketches. On some days I find the world is almost looking monochromatic. Colors appear subdued and like through an old lens. And I find you can show this effect really well with watercolors by diluting them and applying them in these kind of thin layers. I really love the medium for that. I particularly like this page here. This is from when we explored some villages in winter, when it was that cold, when we had the cold spell. And on that day I opted for taking photos instead of sitting down to sketch. You know, I sketched afterwards. This was as much as I could handle. And this is one of the main churches in that town. And there are still a lot of historical buildings intact. It has a very nice city center or town center. And I love this architecture and old churches in general. So from time to time I really love focusing on architecture. And on one of my other walks I encountered Galloway cows. They are smaller than your average cow and have this tousled long fur and long horns, and they're really friendly and chilled. But I believe almost every cow is friendly and chilled, so they're really nice animals. And again, it was so cold, I just snapped a few photos, went on my walk, and then sketched them at home. And on the other side is another landscape sketch in which I used a mix of watercolor and ink. And I think I grabbed one of my fountain pens with non-waterproof ink in it. So the result here are these green blobs, which I then discovered. I added a bit of water over this. So this is what happens when you do that, when you don't label your pens. I really like this location, this spot here. I've painted this several times, I believe mostly in summer, and I hope to return there in spring. And this page here was a practice page for me. I'm currently filming a new version or a remake of my course on painting clouds with watercolor. So to get into the mood and practice a bit, I painted a few different skyscapes and clouds and situations like sunset and fluffy clouds. And yeah, it's so relaxing. It is just so relaxing. I didn't even know how much I missed this. I've also recently shared a few tips for painting clouds, for mixing different kinds of blues, and in case you're interested, this is on my blog. I will leave a link for this. And the most recent page features tiny mosses and tiny lichens. And I love these small structures and these textures and these branches with stuff on them. And again, I drew this with a combination of ink and watercolor, again these acrylic inks, and somehow these interesting colors appeared everywhere on that branch as I looked closer. You don't even suspect it. And two other things that are featured on this page are my favorite hashtags from Mastodon, which is my preferred open source social network if you want to connect with me there. And these would be the hashtags Mastodon and like and subscribe. Yeah, that's right. And I think now is a good point to tell you that you should absolutely like and subscribe to this video and to this channel if you've enjoyed this. And yeah, what else is on this page? We have two foggy landscapes. I believe I will add a bit more to this and maybe lighten the lines here a bit more. And this was just a foggy day with very subdued colors. Yeah, this is the last page in my sketchbook right now. I hope I will finish the rest of this sketchbook soon, with the days getting warmer and the snow hopefully disappearing. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If you would like to leave a comment, please do so. And if you would like to support my work, you can do so through Patreon or through Gumroad by buying my courses or through a simple donation. And this will allow me to create more videos like this. And I'm also very, very grateful for each and every one of you who decides to support me. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.